number 10 LSU goes to number 17 Vanderbilt, where they were 2.5-point favorites, and they lose 31-24 in a game that we were wrong on, in the sense of us being like, it's going to be a race to 20, because it really felt like it profiled that way. The defense of LSU, I thought, would give more resistance, and I guess I should have just kind of known at this point. But the big talking point right now of this LSU team is like, oh, wow, this LSU team is soft. And you don't typically say that about LSU teams. I remember being terrified every time A&M had to play LSU growing up. We didn't beat them until 2019 in the SEC. We lost to them 7 straight years, and that was even the teams with Johnny. That was the one team we couldn't beat because it was like, we just don't physically match up with this LSU team. They're just bullies, and they're going to bully us. We don't have the ability to hang with that. And now we're at a spot where they're getting bullied by Vanderbilt. And I know Vanderbilt's a whole lot better, and it's a very good team. And the LSU team still should not get bullied like they did against Vanderbilt and give up what they did on the ground and struggle to run the ball, and they can't keep their quarterback upright. You got offensive linemen getting pushed back and bowled over into the quarterback. That's just like not how it's supposed to be. And now I think Brian Kelly's in really hot water. But great job by Vandy. Great job by Diego Pavia. You go get the job done. Y'all's thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I completely agree with they shouldn't get bullied by Vanderbilt. And I actually don't care how good we think Vanderbilt is. LSU is just one of those programs that doesn't get bullied by
anyone.
And they certainly don't get bullied by a player of Diego Pavia's capability and talent. Like
Sure.
That's not a. They don't get beat by a player when they go out and get beat. Most of the time, they beat themselves.
Sure.
More often than not, they don't go out there and get beat, or they're just like out talented, like they have been against Alabama in certain times throughout their time in the SEC. But for Diego Pavia to bully them for the most part and get what he wanted, and he's tackling and falling forward, and he's, like Sanders has said multiple times, not that it's your phrase, but you have said aura farming so many times this show. He is aura farming. He's hitting the Heisman pose in the second or third week of October against you.
Practicing his kneels against the Alabama game in warm-ups.
Yes,
Stuff like that.
just doesn't happen to this program, and soft is a great way to put it for them to not be able to run the ball as effectively. Now they ran it for 5 yards a pop again, so that's back-to-back weeks where they've gotten over the 4 yards a pop. But they got bullied. Nussmeier got 8 and alive a ton. He was still incredible.
I thought he had a great game.
Given the offensive line he's playing in front of,
and he's still hurt. He
clearly
still isn't driving the ball as well as he normally does.
Very clearly. But they are like the Xavier Thomas touchdown away from like kind of not this game not being close.
Yeah.
Which is just poor tackling by Vanderbilt. But I completely agree. That's the takeaway of they just don't get bullied by this team. They aren't favored against Vanderbilt. Like that's kind of an
tells you all need to know about where they are
going into the game already. One of like my things looking into the game was obviously Pavia versus the LSU defense. He got whatever he wanted. He scored 31 points against them. The LSU offense has scored more than 23 points now twice this season. Unfortunately, their defense couldn't hold up their end of the bargain. Pavia and turnovers, a big story. Pavia does not turn the ball over. Vanderbilt doesn't turn the ball over once in this game.
Yeah, the turnover on downs was rough on their part.
Agreed.
Not officially a turnover.
A lot of the other scenarios where Pavia just makes plays happen, where I would argue missed assignments where we like, why aren't we covering the running back or tight end? And Pavia is scrambling for 5 seconds and then finds them and it picks up a first down.
Yeah.
That can't happen, but
good play by Pavia, but
it is.
It can't. You can't have that guy be open because it wasn't even like it was on a line. That thing was lofted out there, and he's just standing.
Yeah, the missing of Aaron Anderson clearly showed. I think he only had 1 or 2 catches. The crowd was what I expected. Jesse Palmer said, quoting him during the broadcast, "It is a sea of purple and gold here at the stadium."
Yeah,
and it kind of looked like that.
And I don't know if it was just the way the game flow was, or if they like were strategic in miking stuff up. But it did sound very much like a Vanderbilt home crowd. But then when you looked at the crowd, it didn't look like it. But
Not
it
at all.
always got loud on LSU third downs and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, you could, for the most part, you could hear, especially like when Vanderbilt picked up the first down, they have this cheer that was like "Go Doors, go Doors, go Doors" or something. You heard that almost every single time, and then you also you hear the LSU band. It feels like almost any game they play in. You hear the dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Go Tigers, dun 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 dun. You just hear that every single
Sure.
time. But it was a LSU crowd, and Vanderbilt kind of dealt with that and did what they wanted. I'm interested to hear what Josh Pate says about the game since he was there, just how it felt.
And we'll be there next week, too.
And yeah, he's going to be there next week. Game day is at Vanderbilt.
He already announced he's going
Yeah.
back.
Yes.
Missouri, Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Missouri at Vanderbilt. That'll be game day. And, of course, the Fall Don't Lie tour will be there. But Sanders' takeaways from this noon kickoff in Nashville or Smashville, or Joe Tessor called it one other thing, and I forgot what it was. But it was a play on Asheville.
It's I just love football, and so it's fun for me. Like, Vanderbilt is good. The one thing that's like, and this is just like as a fan thing, like it kind of sucks that Diego Pavia is as old as he is, because it feels like it almost, as much success as Vanderbilt has, that's always going to be like what people use to like take it away. You know what I'm saying?
Not really. I'm going to be honest.
Okay, so like Vanderbilt is winning right now, and it's fun, and I love it, and a lot of people love it. But then there are always people who are like, Diego Pavia is like, he should get a job, like he's too old to be playing football. It's just like kind of an unfortunate like blemish on like a really fun season.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because it is really fun that Vanderbilt is good right now. Like it is, I enjoy the fact that like they were favored against LSU and go and get that win. It's just the chaos is great, but it feels like there's like one little like sore spot, and it's that like it's all being led by a guy who's in his like 7th year of college.
Yeah, I almost feel like that being like a holdup for you almost means it has some kernel of truth, because people are always going to hate.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
no, I agree.
just like don't let it bother you. It's like not that big of a deal.
I agree that it has a tiny kernel of truth, which is why I wish that he was just a regular like 4th or 5th year senior, so that we could just enjoy this for what it is, and that is Vanderbilt is good at football right now.
Just enjoy it for what it is, then, because Vanderbilt is good for.
I am enjoying it, but I don't have a lot of X's and O's takeaways.
I will just say, and this is not just the Vandy game, but that felt like OG SEC football slate yesterday.
Yeah.
With Bama, Tennessee, the Georgia Ole Miss game's really close. A&M Arkansas's in a 1-score game. You had a 1-score game in the Swamp. Down on the Plains, it was another 1-score game. Or sorry, it was at home for Missouri, wasn't it?
No, it was in the Plains.
In
was
Auburn.
at the Plains? You're right.
All of them
I
were
shouldn't
one
have-
score, except the Tennessee game didn't finish that way.
Yeah, but that was like that just felt right yesterday. And that was, I guess, the Vandy LSU game would be the outlier there in terms of
Feeling
like growing up, my teenage years, my teens, this would never have happened.
Yeah.
But the fact the game was close and it just felt like real competitive football. It just all felt right in the world yesterday in that sense. But shout out Vandy, it's a huge win, and now the playoff conversations start to feel a little real. They have a long road ahead of them, but it is possible.
they have a very long road ahead of them.
So, of course, Missouri at home this weekend. Then they have to go to Texas, which I can't imagine how big that game would be if we're maybe looking at a Texas team that just lost to State, and now Vanderbilt goes into that stadium. That'll be a noon kickoff, though, so not as tough as it could be. They have Auburn and Kentucky at home, and then in Knoxville. So, honestly, it's a long road, but not an impossible road for this team to be 10-2. To think that this team could go 4-1 in their last 5 games, I think is completely possible.
Yeah.
They just got to go out there and do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is tough that the Texas and Tennessee games are both on the road, but very, very much in play. We'll have to see how it plays out.